Hi, Miss Gretel. I am Elio Banda, and this is my presentation about integral project of emotional intelligence. Many times we cannot visualize the big need that we have to be motivating for other person or by ourselves. In this project, I'm going to talk about two topics. The number one is motivation principles, and the second one is motivational cycle. Motivation is one of the five psychological aspects that is somewhat closely related to the development of the human being. We have five motivation principles which help us to give ourselves that motivation that we need, either when we need it or when someone else needs it. These five motivational principles are: Number 1. Principle of predisposition. When we are positively biased toward a task, its execution is almost always pleasant. When we change the why by the why not, we are applying this principle. Number 2. Principle of consequence. We tend to reproduce experiences that have pleasant consequences and not repeat those that have unpleasant consequences. When we obtain a consequence equal to or better than expected, we feel rewarded and we keep consequently or unconsequently that pleasant memory, for which we tend to repeat that strategy. Number 3. Repetition principle. When a stimulus elicits a certain positive reaction, the link between the stimulus and the response can be reinforced with exercise or repetition. Thus, the mastery in the execution of a task will be given, among other aspects, by the repetition that is reinforced by a modeling towards excellence. Number 4. Principle of novelty. All things being equal, controlled news tends to be more attractive and motivating than what is already known. This principle is true as long as it is approached with a certain control and with a high dose of personal security science. Otherwise, the phenomenon of resistance to change may appear. Number 5. Principle of experience. Relate an experience that has been pleasant to us with what we want to achieve can be very motivating. That experience can refer both to some previously lived experience and to some new experience that we can carry out by sensory management. The motivation cycle refers to a change of state within an individual. In the motivational cycle, we have 4 steps that are so important for complete the cycle in the correct way. Number 1 is need, and it is a requirement that the mind or body requests. Number 2 is drive. Need leads to drive, which is the second step to reaching a goal. Number 3 is incentive. The tension leads to take an action to satisfy the need. This action, according to the experience of the individual, can contract unexpected results or the fulfillment of the goal. And number 4 is the goal. The reduction of tension in the body can be considered as the achievement of the goal of some motivated action. Talking up an example, a person with thirst drinks water and his body regains balance, thus reducing tension. Now I'm going to present a situation, an hypothetical situation. Let's suppose we are the responsible of some company and we have detected that there are some problems among the workers. They do not coexist well. They dismiss each other. Some believe they are superior to others. There is poor communication between workers, and this has even affected supervisors, members of the quality area, human resources, managers, and even to customers. Therefore, the company is losing sales, it is losing customers, and its income is falling. How can we solve this situation? To solve this situation, we can do the following. In the first place, we must identify those who are causing the disputes and therefore are hindering the advancement of workers and work. For this, we will have to carry out an investigation in the labor areas and with the same operators as well as with supervisors, the area managers, etc. When the causes of the labor dispute, the dismissals, the sense of superiority have been identified, thus with big credit regarding teamwork and the motivation to continue developing good jobs, as well as presenting the problem that has arisen because of the labor disputes. Of course, we must be careful when presenting this issue, since maintaining the main stakeholders may cause some repercussions with the workers themselves and with the company, which is why we will talk in general way, trying to direct the workers to refrain from continuing with the provocative attitude of the not so prominent downfall of the company and always giving them the superiority as a whole rather than to the personal, since if one falls in the company, many may be involved. If the situation continues the same, at this time the men involved will be summoned. This to give them a second wake-up call and encourage them to change their attitudes and be better than they have shown. If not, the company will be in charge of going fighting those who do not comply with the human standards that the company has. If the situation improves, we as managers of this company will motivate our workers with stimuli, whether they are economic stimuli for the proper preparation of their jobs or personal stimuli that help our workers to be well with the company, but also with their families, with society, and much very important, with themselves. I will propose to carry out dynamics twice a week, different each time, either in the mornings, activate them with music and motivational words, as well as short meetings before starting the shift to talk and ask them how they are and how they feel with us. I also think that we should listen opinions and points of view to make them feel confident. On festive dates, hold small events at the plant or company to also spend time with the family of the company staff. All this to cause changes of state within the individual which prompts him to seek satisfaction. Well, in conclusion, we can say that motivation is a very important aspect that should be considered in all possible areas. These areas should not be underestimated. On the contrary, stimuli are a very great motivation for people to do and execute actions in a good way. It is not a bribe. It is an aid or a demonstration that works does pay off. It is no exploitation, but rather something we do to receive our salary, and why not something else. When we start with test stimuli, workers will begin to feel good about their jobs and down with themselves because what they do with effort is being rewarded. The motivational cycle is essential to develop in the workers that sense to belonging with them, with their colleagues, with their bosses, and with their clients in their cause. Many times the workers need to do something to express the needs they have, and perhaps that is why they transmit it in ill-founded actions such as strife, denial, and even aggressiveness. But if we channel this need in the right directions, we can have excellent works. If the principles of motivation and motivational cycle begin to be implemented sooner or later, we will be able to make workers achieve their personal goals and not just work. And this is the purpose of motivation: to make people achieve those things they want, not only for a company, not only for a boss, not only for their colleagues, but also for themselves, their families, and their environment. For this and more, motivation is of the utmost importance in the workplace, and for this reason we agree that with motivation we can get our workers to be better and we can solve difficulties and labor disputes. The motivation is an aspect so important. You can do it. Make the impossible possible. Make the unvaluable valuable. Just do it. Your goal is the sky.